Okay, I seem to be having a problem with my background music for some reason. Let me check on this. Nope. Sorry, give me just a moment while I work on the technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. I figured that out. It wasn't actually a problem other than me not being able to hear it. You all could hear it just fine. I'm sorry about that. Rough start. Okay, so now that the scuff is over with, let's get on with the stream. And for the stream today, we are continuing our mission to read the complete works of Sara Teasdale in alphabetical order, although it occurred to me this morning as I was preparing for the stream that this collection I have in front of me might not actually be the complete collection. It's a collection of about 300 of her poems, but I'm not actually sure if that's everything she published. So it might take a little research to determine that, but anyway, it is at least a large collection of Sara Teasdale poems. Okay, we are actually very close to the end of these poems. We finished last night the U's, and we began the V's. And I'm not actually sure. I lost track of which poem I was on, so I'm going to go back perhaps a little bit. This might result in me reading the same poem more than once, but I hope no one will complain about that, since the poems are quite good, really. So I'm pretty sure I read this one already, but here it is again. This is called Villa Cervelloni Bellagio. The fountain shivers lightly in the rain. The laurels drip, the fading roses fall. The marble satyr plays a mournful strain that leaves the rainy fragrance musical. O dripping laurel, Phoebus' sacred tree, would that swift Daphne's lot might come to me. Then I would still my soul, and for an hour change to a laurel in the glancing shower. Okay, next is one called Vox Corporis. Vox Corporis is sort of the opposite of me. I am a disembodied voice, ephemeral. A voice in the ether. A hyperspectral entity projected to you through your primitive technology called internets. Your eye is incapable of conceiving of my form. But enough of that silliness. Let us proceed with the poem Vox Corporis. The beast to the beast is calling, and the soul bends down to wait. Like the stealthy lord of the jungle, the white man calls his mate. The beast to the beast is calling, they rush through the twilight sweet. But the soul is a wary hunter, he will not let them meet. Yes, now that I read it, I'm quite certain I read that one last night. And so that was the end of the V's. We will now move on to the W's with a poem called Water Lilies. If you have forgotten water lilies floating on a dark lake among mountains in the afternoon shade, if you have forgotten their wet, sleepy fragrance, then you can return and not be afraid. But if you remember, then turn away forever to the plains and the prairies where pools are far apart. There you will not come at dusk on closing water lilies, and the shadow of mountains will not fall on your heart. That was Water Lilies by Sara Teasdale. By the way, I have the complete playlist of all the previous VODs in this series published on YouTube. I am working my way through the complete works of Sara Teasdale, and I'm almost done. Next up, we have a poem called What Do I Care? What do I care in the dreams and the languor of spring, that my songs do not show me at all? For they are a fragrance, and I am a flint and a fire. I am an answer, they are only a call. But what do I care, for love will be over so soon. Let my heart have its say, and my mind stand idly by. For my mind is proud and strong enough to be silent. It is my heart that makes my songs, not I. That's a nice one. world, what do I care? Okay, the next one is called When Love Goes. Oh, mother, I am sick of love. I cannot laugh nor lift my head. My bitter dreams have broken me. I would my love were dead. Drink of the draught I brew for thee, thou shalt have quiet in its stead. Where there is silver in the rain, where there is music in the sea, where is that bird that sang all day to break my heart with melody? The night thou bad'st love fly away, he hid them all from thee. That was When Love Goes by Sara Teasdale. Next we have When Love Was Born. When love was born, I think he lay right warm on Venus' breast. And whiles he smiled, and whiles would play, and whiles would take his rest. But always, folded out of sight, the wings were growing strong, that were to bear him off in flight ere long, ere long. Next up we have a poem called While I May. Wind and hail and veering rain, driven mist that veils the day, soul's distress and body's pain, I would bear you while I may. I would love you if I might, for so soon my life will be buried in a lasting night, even pain denied to me. That's a lovely and slightly depressing poem, as are many of her poems, both lovely and depressing. Next up we have one called White Fog. Heaven invading hills are drowned in wide moving waves of mist. Flocks before my door are wound in dripping wreaths of amethyst. 10 feet away, the solid earth changes into melting cloud. There is a hush of pain and mirth. No bird has heart to speak aloud. Here in a world without a sky, without the ground, without the sea, the one unchanging thing is I. Myself remains to comfort me. It's very true. I mean, I don't really know what most of that poem is about, but that last stanza, at least, makes a lot of sense to me. Here in a world without a sky, without the ground, without the sea, the one unchanging thing is I. Myself remains to comfort me. Next we have a poem called Wild Asters. In the spring, I asked the daisies if his words were true, and the clever, clear-eyed daisies always knew. Now the fields are brown and barren, bitter autumn blows, and of all the stupid asters, not one knows. Next up we have Winter Dusk. I watch the great clear twilight veiling the ice-bowed trees. Their branches tinkle faintly with crystal melodies. The larches bend their silver over the hush of snow. One star is lighted in the west, two in the zenith glow. For a moment I have forgotten wars and women who mourn. I think of the mother who bore me and thank her that I was born. That's a good example of how she is so good at combining depressing and lovely and touching all in one poem. Next up we have a poem called Winter Stars. I went out at night alone, the young blood flowing beyond the sea seems to have drenched my spirit's wings. I bore my sorrow heavily. But when I lifted up my head from shadows shaken on the snow, I saw Orion in the east burn steadily as long ago. From windows in my father's house, dreaming my dreams on winter nights, I watched Orion as a girl above another city's lights. Years go, dreams go, and youth goes too. The world's heart breaks beneath its wars. All things are changed save in the east, the faithful beauty of the stars. That's a lovely poem, although that last rhyme is a bit of a stretch. Maybe it's just me, but I prefer that if you're going to rhyme, you should truly rhyme, and if you're not going to rhyme, just don't. And this poem tries to rhyme the word wars with the word stars. And it's only a rhyme in writing. It's not a rhyme when spoken, wars and stars. I mean, it's a little bit of a rhyme, but it's a weak rhyme. And poems are meant to be spoken or heard even if only spoken and heard inside your own head. And when spoken, I don't feel like wars and stars go together quite well enough, especially not to be the final rhyme of a poem. The final rhyme should be especially strong, in my inexpert opinion. Here I am criticizing Sara Teasdale, a truly accomplished poet. And who am I? I'm just a guy with a microphone. Okay. Next we have Wisdom by Sara Teasdale. When I have ceased to break my wings against the faultiness of things, and learned that compromises wait behind each hardly open gate, when I have looked life in the eyes, grown calm and very coldly wise, life will have given me the truth and taken in exchange my youth. I've read that one before. I remember it. And I like it quite a lot. There is a lot of wisdom in that poem called Wisdom. And now we have a poem called Wishes. I wish for such a lot of things that never will come true. And yet I want them all so much. I think they might, don't you? I want a little kitty cat that's soft and tame and sweet. And every day I watch and hope I'll find one in the street. But Nursey says, come walk along, don't stand and stare like that. I'm only looking hard and hard to try to find my cat. And then I want a blue balloon that tries to fly away. I thought if I wished hard enough that it would come someday. One time when I was in the park, I knew that it would be beside the big old clock at home waiting there for me. And soon as we got home again, I hurried through the hall and looked beside the big old clock, and it wasn't there at all. I think I'll never wish again, but then what shall I do? The wishes are a lot of fun, although they don't come true. What a lovely poem that is. Wishes by Sara Teasdale. I remember once when I was young, I had gone out kite flying, I believe, with my father and my brother. And there was a little sun shower, I think a little bit of rain, maybe just rain in the distance. And we were packing up to go because you should not fly kites in the rain. At least, not if you value your life. But then there was a rainbow, a big, beautiful rainbow across the sky. And I thought to myself, surely there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. I've heard that this is true. And a leprechaun. And I really, never mind the pot of gold, I really wanted to meet that leprechaun. And I knew, of course, I was old enough to know in the thinking part of my brain that there was no leprechaun and no pot of gold. But it was such a fun idea, and I thought, why hasn't anyone ever just gone to the end of the rainbow to find out? And so I started running toward the rainbow, trying to see what was at the end. That's what this poem made me think of. It's always nice to be reminded of fun things like that from childhood. Okay, we have 2 poems left in this collection of Sara Teasdale poems. We're getting quite close to the end of our quest. So let us proceed with a poem called Young Love. Young Love, in fact, is a long poem. It's a poem in 10 parts. Each part is quite short, though, 2 or 3 stanzas each. So this shan't take too long. Much like Young Love, which never lasts very long. Okay, 1. I cannot heed the words they say. The lights grow far away and dim. Amid the laughing men and maids, my eyes unbidden seek for him. I hope that when he smiles at me, he does not guess my joy and pain. For if he did, he is too kind to ever look my way again. 2. I have a secret in my heart no ears have ever heard, and still it sings there day by day, most like a caged bird. And when it beats against the bars, I do not set it free, for I am happier to know it only sings for me. 3. I wrote his name along the beach. I loved the letters so. Far up it seemed, and out of reach, for still the tide was low. But oh, the sea came creeping up and washed the name away. And on the sand where it had been, a bit of seagrass lay. A bit of seagrass on the sand, dropped from a mermaid's hair. Ah, had she come to kiss his name and leave a token there? For what am I that he should love me, he who stands so far above me? What am I? I am like a cowslip turning toward the sky, where a planet's golden burning breaks the cowslip's heart with yearning. What am I that he should love me? What am I? Five. O dreams that flock about my sleep, I pray you bring my love to me. Let me think I hear his voice again ring free. And if you care to please me well and live tomorrow in my mind, let him who was so cold before tonight seem kind. 6. I plucked a daisy in the fields, and there beneath the sun I let its silver petals fall one after one. I said, he loves me not, and oh, my heart beat fast. The flower was kind, it let me say, he loves me last. I kissed the little leafless stem, but oh, my poor heart knew the words the flower had said to me, they were not true. 7. I sent my love a letter, and if he loves me not, he shall not find my love for him in any line or dot. But if he loves me truly, he'll find it hidden deep, as dawn gleams red through chilly clouds to eyes awakened from sleep. The world is cold and gray and wet, and I am heavy-hearted yet, when I am home and look to see the place my letters wait for me. If I should find one letter there, I think I should not greatly care if it were rainy or were fair, for all the world would suddenly seem like a festival to me. 9. I hid 3 words within my heart that longed to fly to him. At dawn they woke me with a start, they sang till day was dim. And now at last I let them fly as little birds should do. And he will know the first is I, the others love and you. 10. Across the twilight's violet, his curtained window glimmers gold. Oh, happy light that round my love can fold. Oh, happy brook within his hand, oh, happy page he glorifies, oh, happy little word beneath his eyes. But oh, thrice happy, happy I, who love him more than songs can tell, for in the heaven of his heart I dwell. That was Young Love, a poem in 10 parts by Sara Teasdale. We have arrived now at the end of our journey, the final poem in this collection of Sara Teasdale poems, from A to Z. It turns out there are no Z's, because the final poem is Youth and the Pilgrim. So really this is A to Y, I guess. One moment while I clear my throat. Okay, here we are. Youth and the Pilgrim by Sara Teasdale. Grey pilgrim, you have journeyed far. I pray you tell to me, is there a land where love is not by shore of any sea? For I am weary of the god, and I would flee from him, though I must take a ship and go beyond the ocean's rim. I know a port where love is not. The ship is in your hand. Then plunge your sword within your breast, and you will reach the land. Okay. That was Youth and the Pilgrim by Sara Teasdale. And that's the end. We have 100%ed this quest. Experience points awarded. I don't think there's any loot box unlocked for the completion of that quest. But here we are. I can now say that I've read the complete works of Sara Teasdale. I'm going to go back now because I have a little longer to stream. And I'm going to select a few poems that I remember liking as I went through to read again. Here's one called A Boy. Out of the noise of tired people working, harried with thoughts of war and lists of dead, his beauty met me like a fresh wind blowing, clean, boyish beauty and high-held head. Eyes that told secrets, lips that would not tell them, fearless and shy, the young, unwearied eyes. Men die by millions now because God blunders. Yet to have made this boy, he must be wise. That was A Boy by Sara Teasdale. And here we have one called A Minuet of Mozart's. Across the dimly lighted room, the violin drew wefts of sound. Airily they wove and wound and glimmered gold against the gloom. I watched the music turn to light, but at the pausing of the bow, the web was broken and the glow was drowned within the wave of night. Okay. What else do we have here that I enjoyed? I'm doing a lot of coughing here, so it might be a sign that perhaps I should take a break from the stream for a few moments, but I want to read a few more poems first. This one is called But Not to Me. The April night is still and sweet, with flowers on every tree. Peace comes to them on quiet feet, but not to me. My peace is hidden in his breast, where I shall never be. Love comes tonight to all the rest. but not to me. Let's see. And this one, April, I think I also liked it. The roofs are shining from the rain. The sparrows twitter as they fly by. And with a windy April grace, the little clouds go by. Yet the backyards are bare and brown with only one unchanging tree. I could not be so sure of spring, save that it sings in me. Okay, it seems that I'm finding myself coughing, having a little coughing fit after pretty much every poem that I read, and so I think I'm going to take that as a sign that I should simply take my victory of having read to the end of the alphabet in Sara Teasdale's poems, and just wrap up the stream here. This will also be the end of the Sara Teasdale playlist of VODs that I have published, that I am publishing to YouTube. So if you've worked your way through that whole playlist, congratulations and thank you. And I very much hope that you enjoyed the poems, that you enjoyed my reading of the poems. I hope maybe that it helped you relax or sleep. And I hope you will forgive me my various flubs and mistakes and scuff. This was my first major undertaking in poetry reading, but I have to say I've sort of caught the bug. So I feel fairly certain that I will do more. So don't forget, as they say, to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully I will see you again someday.